Benedict. This is the Birdbrain Q&A podcast. We are here to answer all the weird, wild, wacky, random questions you have about birds. I'm an ornithologist, and I've noticed that people started asking me lots and lots of questions lately, so I figured maybe we should answer them.
Lauren, I was so excited when you asked me if I wanted to help out with this. I'm obviously bird curious. I am a freelance writer and a stand-up comedian, and Lauren asked me to do this. And I am Pam Moore, I guess I'm your co-host. I think it was very generous of you, Lauren, to say that we are here to answer your questions because I'm here. I'm the chief question asker. I know almost nothing about birds. I think birds are awesome. Lauren, what made you want to create this Bird Brain Q&A?
So I had the opportunity to be on a couple of other podcasts where I was a guest recently, and it was a lot of fun. And they asked some kind of out of left field questions. For example, I did not realize that there were people out there worried about the possible burning sensation that birds might feel in their rear ends after they eat hot peppers. But this is a concern for some people.
What
So
people? Who asked you that?
I just want to ask again to the doctor, are their buttholes on fire?
I don't think so. I think their buttholes are fine.
That is so creative. I love
Yeah.
that. If
Yeah.
I challenge our viewers and listeners to come up with a more creative question than that. I would love to hear what it is. Please throw it in the comments so we can, and by we, I mean Lauren, can answer it in the next episode. Well, let's back up. When I say ornithologist, am I saying it right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it also fair to say you're like a professional bird brain? Or is that rude? Is that marginalizing of ornithologists?
No, I'm delighted to be a bird brain. I
Okay.
think it's great. I mean, some ornithologists might not want to be labeled that way, but bring it on. I'm here
Okay,
for
so
it.
as the bird brain in chief, what are some of the most common bird questions that you receive?
Well, lately I get a lot of "Are birds real?" As you know, there has been a smear campaign out there. You're not familiar with this? I'm looking at your face. You don't know birds aren't real?
I haven't heard of this, no.
Oh yeah, there's a whole thing out there that birds are not real. They are government drones sent to spy on us. And so all those flocks of geese you see is some kind of surveillance technique. It's of course a joke. I mean, it's all tongue in cheek, but yeah, check your local telephone poles for posters saying birds aren't real.
Okay. What else? What else do you get?
People all the time say to me, "Oh, I saw this bird," or "I heard this bird. Can you tell me what it is?"
Are you like, okay, what did it say? And then they do a bird impression?
Yeah, which is great. It's so much fun when people walk up to you and they're like, "Okay, I heard the sound. Brah! Brah! What was that?" Or the other day it was like a cree, cree. My friend was telling me, and I was like, you got to give me more." And then it's great because you get to ask these people to make more weird noises. And sometimes they are really clearly something. So like people do an owl, and a great horned owl sounds just like you expect it to sound. And you can tell them that's a great horned owl. Other times it is just a weird noise and I have no idea. Yeah. And what bird did I see? I get that one a lot. A lot of people answer their own questions. A lot of people are like, "I saw this bird and it looked like a cardinal, but it was kind of browner." And it was a cardinal. I mean, the answer is it was a cardinal, but it was a female, and you're used to seeing red males on all of the Christmas propaganda.
They figure it out by
Yeah.
talking to you. I feel like you also, whether you know this or not, you're kind of like a therapist, right? Because the therapist will be like, well, what do you think? Like, why do you think you felt that way? Like, why do you think you said that? It's like,
I'm
oh,
going to take that approach. Yes.
yeah,
Well, if you had to name that bird, what would you call it?
I like that.
And sometimes it's totally right because the other one I get all the time is I saw these black birds with red on their wings. You want to guess what that bird's called?
Like a, a robin? A black and red bird is like, does that have
It's a red-winged blackbird.
a red wing? Okay.
I think this is really getting to the point that Pam is here to ask the questions. Maybe I shouldn't ask you the questions. You know what? Honestly, robin is a pretty solid guess for a lot of common birds in the US because they're everywhere.
Okay. Well, here's a really big question that I know we both want to hit on is who are the people asking the bird questions? Do they fall into a certain demographic, Lauren?
So I'm a Gen Xer, and when I was younger, I would like go to parties and just meet random people. And they'd ask, what do you do? And I'd say, I'm an ornithologist. And they'd go, oh, okay, and move on. And now when I say that, everybody my age is like, oh, I have questions about birds. Let me show
Hmm.
you my Instagram that's all full of birds, you know? So I kind of feel like it's something generational that everybody, maybe it's post-COVID and maybe it's our age, but it's just anybody out there.
I think it's like a coming of age thing. It's like, are you perimenopausal? And it's like I think what we're learning is that like hormone tests won't really tell you much, but it's all about the symptoms. It's like, do you have night sweats? Do you have rage? Do you love birds? You might be perimenopausal.
Yep.
I don't know where I'm at, but just going off of symptoms, I'm definitely bird curious. So, okay, so you're getting a lot of Gen X bird questions.
Yes, yes, and fun ones, and people who, a lot of it's like birds in my backyard. Oh, I saw this bird in my backyard, and that's fun too, because a lot of the time when people say, I saw this amazing bird in my backyard, if it's spring migration time, I can pretty much guess what it's going to be, because there are a few really spectacular birds that come through Colorado, and so at just the right time in the spring, everyone sees Western tanagers and they're amazing. And so that is the bird that everybody asks about. And then if people go driving up in the foothills, everybody asks about magpies. Everybody sees a black-billed magpie and they're like, there was this bird with this amazing long tail and these shiny wings. What was it? And they're super common, but you just don't see
Yes.
them in town. So
I think magpie is the one bird I can confidently identify. What about for people who might be watching or listening to this who are in other regions? Like when you travel, like are you good at also identifying birds in other regions?
sometimes, I mean, the US is not so bad. When you get all over the world, it can be hard. There are some, I mean, there's so many species of birds. If you go to tropical parts of the world, it is so hard. And I think the key is knowing roughly what kind of bird it is. So if you can identify it to family and you can say that's a swallow or that's a wren, then you can always pull out your guidebook and figure out exactly which one you're looking at. So the place to start for sure is those kind of big categories. Okay, that's a sparrow. Okay, that's a thrush, and then figure out from there.
So, I
But
mean, my guess is that if you're watching this, you probably can delineate like the big categories, but I wouldn't be able to do that. What's like the kindergarten or preschool level of before you even know what sparrow family looks like or means? What do you do first?
go watch a bird feeder. Honestly, in your yard or anywhere else, if you go on trips to the tropics, a lot of places you can stay have feeders or feeding stations. The really critical thing is getting a sense of shape. You just get this gestalt of their shape, and then the little details of like color can come later, and you can identify species from that.
So I would hang at the bird feeder and take a photo and feed that into like, do you have a recommendation of like websites that you love that are super useful?
Oh yeah. Well, so if you're looking up birds, I would say get some apps on your
Okay.
phone. The Merlin app is great. It
That's
helps
the
you
app I
identify
have.
sounds. Okay. And it lets you say the bird was roughly this big in this location at this time of year. And based on that, it can make guesses as to what you saw. And it's pretty good because a whole lot of birding is actually not really looking at the bird. It's just knowing where you are and when it is, because certain birds only show up in certain habitats and certain places at certain times of the year. So you can eliminate most of the things in that super thick guidebook just based on where you are and when you're there.
So is it fair to say that like there's a huge overlap between birders and crime detectives?
I like that analogy.
Right? Because like some of these birds have solid alibis. Like it just can't survive in that climate at that time. It
Yeah,
wasn't there. It didn't do it.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I guess by do it, I mean like eat the bird seed or whatever,
Yeah.
birds do. But shifting gears a little bit, what's your favorite bird?
That is such a hard question. Such a hard question. I feel like my favorite bird might be one of my backyard chickens, like an actual individual bird. Everybody always wants me to give them a species, but it's like choosing your favorite child.
Okay, so I've had backyard chickens as well, and my experience with backyard chickens is once they stop laying pretty predictably or well, their time is limited. And so to me, like I never really got involved with them on like a personal level, partly for that reason. do you just say, okay, you got to love and lose, or do you keep them around even after they're not good layers?
Oh, we keep them around. We had one that lived
Oh,
12 years. Brownie,
oh,
she was out there for a long time. Yeah, no, these are now part of our family, these chickens. And we've got two right now that are 7.5, 8 that aren't laying much, but they're still our friends. My daughter
that's
spends a lot
really,
of time like holding them, hanging out, feeding them worms.
that is so sweet. Do you think that they know you and feel like a bond with you?
I like to think so. Certainly a couple of them are way more friendly than the others. And I think it's because we hand raised them and they remember us from when they were tiny. So yeah, they're friendly chickens. We love them. We went and visited my friends' chickens and they were aggressive and didn't want anything to do with us. And we thought, wow, what a difference.
That's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think is an underrated bird?
Hmm. That is a great question. There are a lot of kind of little brown birds that I think get overlooked a lot. So, like house wrens are kind of amazing and they're all over the country. They'll nest in boxes, they'll nest in little crevices and trees and crooks, and you might not notice them, but they have beautiful songs and they have really cool social behaviors. And they're tiny, but they are such badasses. They will fight, they'll sneak into other wrens' nests and pierce their eggs and do all kinds of very sneaky things. So, I think that. That's a pretty cool one.
Oh, I love that. I love that. If you know someone fairly well, can you often predict what their favorite bird will be? You know, you go shopping with a friend and you're like, this shirt is so you. And she's like, oh my God, you're right. Like, can you tell what someone's favorite bird is going to be based on their personality?
I feel like there's some people you can make some predictions. Yeah, it's like the way people end up looking like their dogs.
Yeah.
There are some people you're like, oh yeah, you're a raptor. I bet you like raptors. You're that kind of person that's into hawks because you respect the power. What am I going to pick for Pam? What's Pam's favorite bird? Should I take a guess?
Take a guess. This is going to be tricky because I don't even know my favorite bird.
I think you're going to like something little and tough, so I'm going to pick a black-capped chickadee for you.
Oh, okay. Is it sort of in the family? I mean, the brown birds you were describing, like my heart, I could feel it opening up when you were talking about those birds. I was like, those are my people, my homies, my crew. What is the word that we would use?
Yeah, your flock.
My flock. Yeah,
We could create a flock.
we could. Maybe all if you like and subscribe this, which you definitely should, like you're part of the flock, you're bird
Mhm.
brain flock.
And you can ask us all your questions. Send us more. We love the weird questions. We're just getting started here with the things Pam is asking.
Yeah, and we want this to be for you. So don't be shy to reach out and ask your questions because just might answer your question on the show and give you a shout out. Lauren, if people have questions, how should they put them in the comments? Should they email us? What should they do?
Put them in the comments, or we have an email, which is birdbrainqa@gmail.com.
Yeah, so and I'll be your surrogate question asker. I can't answer anything.
Yeah, bring it on. I want to hear all of your most out there questions because I love the chance to think about this kind of stuff.